What's up, epic people? We haven't seen you guys in a long time, and I hope you guys haven't been missing us, but that's not what matters. We are back with another episode of Behind the Sessions. As always, it's your girl, Elena Williams, but I think at this point, you guys can call me Elu. I think we're comfortable enough. Today, we have the opportunity to have somebody very special in-house today. So I want you guys to already go ahead and start giving her a round of applause because we have KELS in the building.
Wasn't good enough, had to get to running. Gave you all my time, gave you all my love.
What's up, KELS? How you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm at peace. I'm at ease.
I love that, at peace. We always try to make sure that everybody that comes here feels at peace and you're feeling like you're at home. So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Today, we want to get to know KELS for not what we see on social media, not what we see on the videos, in your music, but KELS in person, right here in person. So
that's my favorite way.
Yes, let's get to it. So a lot of people may not know this, but where are you from?
I'm actually from Pittsburgh. I've lived in Atlanta for 3 years. 2 of those years I was on tour, so it really feels like 1 year. But
Pittsburgh.
yes.
Tell us more about that. How was it like growing up in Pittsburgh?
Well, to be honest, half my family's from Augusta, Georgia, so I've been coming down here like my whole life. So I've always had like the North and the South juxtaposition growing up. It was interesting. I grew up in a Catholic household. My mom raised my brother and I had like a class of 6 people. So it was like a very small and like conservative school. So I think a lot of, the pent up creativity that I had really fuels my music. And I started actually as a jazz singer. So my musical foundation is in jazz. And then around when COVID hit, even though I didn't plan this, like that's when I decided to release music as KELS. And I've been doing that ever since 2020. So
wow. Well, that was a mouthful. So like you just said,
elevator speech.
Yes. Wow. But like you said, you have like roots here in the South. Was it always going to be Atlanta?
I felt like Atlanta was a good middle ground between like New York and LA. I've done the New York scene with jazz and I hate the cold, and I had to live in the cold like my whole upbringing. So with the cold comes some cold people too. So I don't really need the attitude right now.
That's big facts. Big facts.
Like,
oh my gosh.
I just identify with the South better. And Atlanta was a good middle ground again. Like LA, I actually love LA. I love being by water, but I already have a familiarity here, and I felt like my sound as well works here. So I wanted to try it out and see how it would go. It's definitely bigger than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is like a very pop punk heavy scene. And so like I could be playing on the biggest stage in Pittsburgh, but those aren't necessarily my fans that would listen to my music. Like even though people appreciated it, I kind of did all I could do there. So I wanted to go to a scene that appreciates jazz, soul, pop, and try it. And Atlanta audiences will tell you if they like it or not.
That is
very
true.
Real.
That is very.
I've been fortunate with that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They're very critical here.
They
but
are.
It's
but
good for
like,
you as an artist.
It's great. And like there's no shortage of open mics and like people who are really like serious about it. Because you go to some cities where like everyone says they're an artist, but nobody's actually doing anything. And like although there is some of that here, it's really easy to find people that just really want to work and grind here. So
that's true.
I love it.
And you fall right into it because you have a lot of grit. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But another thing, appreciation, you spoke about that. A lot of people, would you say that a lot of people don't appreciate jazz?
I feel like jazz has done music listeners a disservice because what's represented a lot of times is an older crowd. And a crowd that is sophisticated when it doesn't even have to be that way. I think jazz has just been branded as something that is like holier than thou almost. And when it comes to music, whereas like other genres are very like relatable to people. So I honestly half the time don't even label myself as jazz necessarily because I'm accessible and I'm relatable. And I still think jazz is, but like you kind of have to like peel away the layers of that. But the typical jazz musician is mysterious. They are closed off. And honestly, I'm naturally an introvert. I used to cry before interviews. Like this is not natural for me.
Well, I'm glad we didn't make you cry here today.
No. But like all that to say is like I am truly at the core like I am jazz. I am that. I'm very mysterious. I don't necessarily love to be all out in the open, and I think that that's like a jazz culture type thing. But, if you want to appeal to the everyday listener, like you have to figure out like what your strengths are. So I've tried to allow people to see me.
Well, we love to see you guys. We love that.
It took work. It's a muscle.
Yeah.
Like being seen is a muscle.
Mm.
So that tour that we are probably going to talk about.
Oh, you know it. You know we're going to talk about it.
I mean, that was a muscle that I had to learn how to use. Just being okay with people knowing things about me and seeing me. Yeah.
we talked
I didn't mean to give away the news.
I told you we was going to get into it, so that's part of it. Is there any jazz artist in particular that has inspired and influenced you to be who you are today?
I can remember the first 2 jazz CDs I bought, Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan. And I went to a school that was predominantly white and Catholic. So that wasn't a sound that I was getting all the time. I will say, like, especially coming down in the South, it's more cultured in that sense. So I was hearing a lot of blues, a lot of jazz at home when I would come down here. But like in Catholic school, you're taught to kind of sing a certain way. And I never felt like my voice fit singing Catholic hymns and singing like musical theater, which was very praised like in my school. And I just always thought it was like, okay, well, I'm not cut out for it, right? Because those were the people that were getting like roles in the musical and like opportunities. And I realized I was just singing the wrong things. Because when I heard Sarah and I heard Ella, I was like, this is the kind of music that touches me and makes me feel something. I didn't really feel anything from musical theater singing like this. Like that just wasn't me. And even like that type of theatrical acting like didn't connect with me. And then when I heard true jazz singers, even like Diana Krall, for example, the way they deliver like lyrics and tone and not singing what's on the page, but interpreting what's on the page, I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I got kicked out of choir in 3rd grade because I wouldn't sing what was on the page.
No.
I was that kid, like, but this would sound better this way.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know if I found jazz or it found me, but.
And there might have been both.
Yeah. And I mean, even artists that are really influenced by jazz, like Amy Winehouse, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, like, once I heard their interpretation of it, it's like crazy what jazz was the foundation of in music. But when I heard all of those singers, I was like, okay, I'm just singing the wrong stuff because this is what I want to sing.
Well, that is a perfect segue into what we're about to get into because you mentioned her, but Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
When I first heard you, I was like, did I just hear what I think I just heard? But tell us how do you feel about being called the Atlanta Amy Winehouse? Because
Atlanta Winehouse.
yes, the Atlanta Winehouse. Like, tell us how does that feel? Like, tell us what it means to hear that when you hear that.
A lot of artists really get their panties in a bunch about being called like people that are already famous, and people don't know you, so they're going to compare you to things that are already familiar to them.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to be compared to somebody that is viewed so positively in the music community. It's not like they're comparing me to someone who I think their music is trash. Like, that would suck.
Yeah,
I'd be like, really? I sound like that? But me and Amy both listened to the same jazz singers growing up. She talks a lot about Billie Holiday. She talks a lot about Ella Fitzgerald. She talks a lot about Sarah Vaughan. So we were all listening to the same women. And I think that's where the comparison really comes from. And also just like, I would say like an unconventional style of singing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. I mean, like, obviously, I think once people see me more and see my music more, they will gravitate away from calling me that. But it's an honor because she's amazing. So
I love that because a lot of artists, they get offended like, I can only be being.
Have you talked to an artist? They get offended about everything.
That is true.
So it's
That
just
is really
like,
true.
bye.
That is
I
true.
can't with people who act like that. I'm just like, be happy they're talking about you.
I love that perspective. I love that. The gratitude for that too. So tell us, is there a KELS on stage versus off stage, or do we just get what we get?
It used to be that way. I would say, like, growing up, people often assume that artists do that.
Mm.
And there are definitely artists that do that, and they probably, they talk about it, that they have an alter ego. I
Mhm.
used to feel like I should do that, but it never felt authentic to me, so I stopped
Mm.
doing that. And that's another reason why I went on tour, because I never felt comfortable putting on a new persona.
Mm.
So I don't do that anymore. And I used to not even talk to the crowd like in between songs. I would just be like, okay,
You used to just get out there, bring your
next
mic,
one.
and get into it.
Yeah, next one. Because I didn't know what to say, but then I was like, why does it matter? Like, just talk to them as if they're my friend,
Yeah, yeah.
Same with social media. Like, I used to take forever to get like the right take if I was talking to the camera, but it's like, just talk
Yeah.
as if we're talking
Yeah.
and not be like, hey guys, so I wanted to tell you. No, it's like, next. I don't want to hear that. Or even like whenever you're listening to a song and an artist is like, I wrote this song about, I don't find that relatable. And I know that people's attention will turn off if you just kind of like ramble.
That's true.
So you just kind of learn what works. And for me, it's a lot of humor because my songs are like really dark. So it like gives people like a break from that. Humor works, and just like being relatable and like talking about what's really behind a song instead of just being like, this is about X, Y, and Z, and not being so formulaic. So no, there's no on and off stage thing anymore. I would say early on, yeah, but no, not anymore.
That's growth though. That's growth as an artist. That's growth as a human being. So we're about to get into what you mentioned earlier, which is being an indie artist and doing all the stuff that you have done by yourself and as an independent. So how did that journey start for you?
Yeah.
And how's it going for you right now?
I would say, so the last 2 years I've been on the road for a 75 show tour, and I'd always wanted to tour, but I was like, I'm not going to wait for somebody to bring me on tour. I'm not going to wait for the right moment, because a lot of people think like, oh, I have to have certain music out. I have to have a certain catalog already ready. I was like, yeah, but I put out all this music and nobody has heard it yet. So it's all new music to like anybody that's never heard it. So in 2022, like right when I moved to Atlanta, I went viral for my song Just Let Me Go Live on TikTok. And people were like commenting cities to come to. Before that, I didn't have any fans. So nobody was like, I didn't have any data on that. Nobody was telling me to come to their city or anything like that. And I was like, this is an opportunity for me. I can figure out how to engage these people rather than just being online and like responding to them. So I put like all those cities in a spreadsheet, and everybody told me I was crazy. My manager at the time told me that it wouldn't work. I didn't have a fan base. And it's like, well, yeah, now these people are interested, so I will have a fan base. No longer my manager, because I don't like when people are just like, oh, you shouldn't do it. And it's like, why? So at that time I had no manager, and I was like, I need to figure out how to get all this music that I had already put out heard by people. So I put all that in a spreadsheet, just went through a huge breakup, and I was like, I don't have a reason to be here anyway right now. I'm gonna go. So I left with only having like the southern portion of my tour booked. It was like 10 shows, and it was all like areas that I could drive to, and it like in and around Atlanta. So it was like just me and my car. And then I was like, this is pretty easy. So I was like, I'm going to keep going. So then I drove up to the Northeast, and then I booked those shows. And then I drove over to the Midwest, and I booked those shows while I was in the Northeast. So wherever I was booking the next region of the country. And it was literally just me and my car.
You still got the same car?
Well, that one broke down.
I was about to say.
No, because I had it since I was 15. And I think by like the 3rd month, the engine went bad at South by Southwest, and I had to
You made it all the way Southwest.
Yeah, I did the whole country, and I drove to Canada too. Like my last show was in Vancouver, so I drove from Vancouver all the way back to Atlanta.
Stop it.
For the last show. Yeah.
Girl, you need to do it with whatever car you had, because that is insane.
No, I know. But now the car that I do have already has a bunch of miles on it because I got it halfway through the tour.
Oh my God.
My fans funded the whole tour. So I actually made money on tour because I like did this thing on my website where like people could donate a meal, they could donate a tank of gas.
That is love.
Yeah, merch, all that stuff, not to mention the tickets, obviously. And then where I could, I would just stay with like family or friends in cities. 75 shows, and now I've got, I think, 50,000 more followers than I had even just last year.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That grind is insane.
Yeah.
Girl,
And
I'm
then
just mind
that
blown.
opened me up to so many things. Like I got the Jazz Fest from that.
Mm.
I played there last year, opened for Andre 3000.
Stop.
Did a 90-minute set like at Piedmont.
Yes, the Jazz Fest. How can I
'Cause
forget that? I
people-
literally saw you. That's
People
crazy.
in Atlanta only started to recognize me once I went on tour because
Mhm.
there was a reason for them to tune in. Like, is she actually gonna do it?
Mm.
You know, not even. I don't even think they were asking in like a malicious way or like, oh, like who does she think she
Yeah.
is? It was more so like, let's see.
Mm.
And so I did it, and then when I came back, you know, people want to work with you because they see that you work. You're
Mm.
not waiting for anything. So
Dang.
I tried out a bunch of unreleased music on tour, so now I know what already resonates with my audience, so I don't have to guess.
And you did it so organically. That is,
Yeah.
and you know it's hard to do it organically.
It is, but I would sell tickets like
Mhm.
outside of music venues. Like I would go, like there was a Brent Faiyaz concert in Dallas, and I had never played in Dallas, so like when people were waiting in line, I was like handing out my flyers like for my show, like
Man, I don't want to hear nobody make no excuses. No more.
literally. I mean,
No more.
I ran myself into the ground, and I still am because I
Mm.
clean houses all day, but it's worth it because I know my fans and they know me.
Mm.
Like, that is what changes the whole social media aspect because it's like people will engage with you if they know you.
Mm.
I was going on stage, like I would get changed in a gas station, go on stage, perform, get off stage, sell my merch,
Mm.
talk to people for an hour, get in the car, drive to the next city, go to bed, wake up, do the show. Like, not recommended. Would never do it again without a team. I would still do. I loved being on the road. Like I love being on tour. My parents were both in the military, so like I traveled so much
Okay.
as a kid. Like
Yeah.
I was never in one place. But never again without a team. Glad I did it. Learned so much.
So is it
but-
like a 0 out of 10 would not recommend, or is it like a 1 out of 10 would not recommend? Or
No, I would recommend it 10 out of 10.
Okay, cool.
If you don't, I didn't have anything going on, so I
Yeah.
made traction for myself.
She said, "I made that
Like-
motion. I know that's right."
Like
Kels.
I knew that nobody had heard my old songs that I'd
Yeah.
been putting out for, at that point it would have been 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, there's no excuse. Like especially if you can do it,
Mm.
like just go. And if you feel like you're not ready to make that bet on yourself, like really look at what you have and
Mm.
be like, can you bet your whole life on it? Because I knew my stuff was good enough to bet my whole life on, and I'm still doing that. But some artists might not be ready to bet that, and that means maybe you still need to work on the music. Maybe you still need to work on the fan engagement. I went viral and I took advantage of it. A lot of artists will go viral and then it's like, oh, remember that one time?
Yeah, that's true.
And you never re-engage those people. It's all about re-engaging people. So
Yeah. That was
it was a lot.
That was great. That was great. Just chef's kiss.
Thank
so
you.
Another experience I want to get into and I want you to tell us about is your experience on Timberland's Live. Like, what?
I cried like a baby after that. I did. I was like, so
Yeah.
it was like the top of the year. I had all these demos ready,
Mhm.
and they were songs that I had been playing live on tour that were really like resonating with people. So I was like, I don't know which one to put out.
Mm.
And I always saw that Timbaland was going live like 3 times a week.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. Like the live that you can like request to be on the live in his bio, like you can sign up and you can send in demos. So I sent in 3 demos and they responded like, hey, we're full today, but like next time. So I reapplied for the next day and I got it. You have to like wait on the live. You don't know when you're gonna go on. So
Oh, okay.
I had like 2 unreleased and then I had a released one because I didn't know how many people would be on the live. So I was like, I want them to at least have something to listen to. So I put like 2 unreleased songs on there, and the first song that I played, he was freaking out about it, and he FaceTimed me, and he's like, I want to get on that. And yeah, so like, yeah, me and Timbaland, I have his number, so whatever. No, he's great though. Like, just from that live alone, like I gained like 5,000 followers.
Yeah,
like, just
I
from
can
that video,
imagine.
and he was really gassing me up, and I was like, you know, you get in your own head as an artist. Like, you're like, oh, my music isn't ready. It's not ready. It's not ready. Because I had been seeing him go live for so long. And I was like, I just need to do it because I didn't know what to release next. And so that video really, like, just gave me my answer. Like, I don't know if he picked that one just because it was the first song he had heard from me. I don't know if the order might have changed his mind on which one I should release. I didn't outright ask him, but it's just like I could tell that really like drew him in. And so put that song out. It's now doing great and about to put out another one.
Yes. That is amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, I looked so crazy on there because I just kept saying thank you. Because like, I don't trust myself like talking in front of that many people yet.
Hey,
there were so many people online.
That's real though.
Because like I was about to just like spew, and I was like, I'm just gonna smile and say thank you. But like people who know me know like I don't just like smile and say thank you.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me just protect whatever he thinks of me. I'll just let him think that.
He'll get to know me later. And then but let me be easy on now.
Yeah. So.
Well, that is so insane. Like,
nuts.
love your life, KELS. Just love your life.
That all happened this year. I'm like, what the freak is next? Like,
look, I'm gonna be staying tuned. I'm gonna be like, what she got going on?
Right. The Hawks game. I just sang the national anthem at the Hawks game.
Wow.
Like, off a DM too. They DM me. And they're
so
like,
you're officially an Atlanta girly.
Yeah.
Officially.
Like, they DM me like the day before. They're like, hey, someone dropped out. Can you do it? I'm like, yeah. So like while I was doing it didn't even feel real because like I didn't soak it in.
Yeah, it's like your body wasn't even there
the
yet.
day before. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, since you are an Atlanta girly, now you at the Riverside EpiCenter.
Right.
So tell us how your experience has been here with us. And also, if I'm not mistaken, you're also part of Word of Faith family. So
I am.
Yeah,
and
so tell
so
us.
I make this drive a lot.
Yeah.
As soon as I walked in, it was like very bright, very holy. And I was like, this has to be associated with Word of Faith. It has Bishop Bronner written all over it.
Yes, that's what it. Oh my gosh, yes.
So I was immediately like, what? Like, I couldn't believe I'd never been in, but I love it. I mean, it's super cute. And
well, girl, you family now.
Super peaceful. Yeah. Like, I was getting my worship in like while I was in the bathroom. So
the bathroom have you like.
Yeah. Just doing my winged eyeliner to it. Yeah.
Well,
great.
we are super duper happy to have you here.
Thank
And
you.
then something else I wanted to get into is like, tell us, every artist does it differently.
Right.
Every single guest that we have been braced with here does it differently. But what is your songwriting process, creative process? Like, what does that look like for you?
It's a muscle just like anything else. I used to like let the inspiration hit me.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore because I feel like you have to get the bad songs out to get to the good ones. So you really have to like write consistently. I try to have at least 2 finished songs done a week. Just so that I have a lot to choose from. But usually I'll just like go on SoundCloud, look up moods, look up vibes, and I try to write to like solely acoustic tracks because if a song can stand on its own with just my voice and guitar, then it's a good song. I think a lot of times like people rely too much on production for a song to be good. And so I try to like do bare bones first and then go from there. So
I love that because that is true. A lot of people do depend on production first.
Yeah, and I try to play it live like immediately. Like if I write a song, I try to do it live like at my next show. Like even if it's not fully ready, like I don't like to get comfortable like singing the same song. So and then you also get immediate feedback on if people like it or not. Because that's all I care. Like it's not all I care about, but it's like the live experience is so important to me. I don't just make music for me. So I like people to hear it initially. And it's like a good adrenaline rush for me. Because I don't get to feel that all the time. You know, like there's certain songs that people definitely want to hear and I know they're going to love it. But sometimes you want to be like unexpected. And so.
That's the mysterious part of you.
Yeah.
This is a little bit off topic, but it just came to my mind is that I know like your grind is cleaning houses. And I remember hearing Summer Walker's story.
Yeah.
And she also cleaned too. Like they basically had to pay her to basically become who she is because she was like, I'm good. I'm just going to keep on cleaning. Have you ever ran into Summer?
Not yet.
Okay.
I wish.
That would be amazing. That just came to my mind. I had
love
to say
her so
something.
much.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I do go to her label frequently, LVRN, to like record and stuff and work with producers. But no, I haven't met her yet, but she also was very transparent. Like she would show pictures of her like cleaning.
Yeah.
She would show it. She had a whole page, like I think it was called like Summer Walker Cleans, and like
Yeah, it was. Yep.
But I picked a job like cleaning because I had an Airbnb business, and cleaning houses was something that I really knew well because I had to know how to do that because I was cleaning those Airbnbs too. And it's a job that, you know, I write music while I'm cleaning. I can listen to podcasts. It's not a job that I have to be glued to a desk and like focus all my attention on. So it's like a good job for me that I can like be doing other things while I'm cleaning. So.
Well, I love that y'all's stories are similar. And I can't wait till y'all's timeline, y'all cross paths, because I cannot wait for that conversation.
She's so cool.
Isn't she?
She's a cool gal. Yeah.
So with that being said, what is your idea of success? Or what would you say is your definition of success? Because everybody's idea of success is different. So what is KELS' idea of success, or what is your definition?
Just the freedom to do what makes me happy and impact, you know, lives, whether that's if it's performing my music, whether that's starting a nonprofit that I'm passionate about. I'm really passionate about after school education.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up going to after school programs. My mom was a single mom, so like she'd pick us up at 6 o'clock every night at after school.
Mom. She did what she had to do.
And that was that. I did that before I started taking music full time. I was an after school program director.
Wow.
Yeah, I oversaw 15 schools in Pittsburgh public schools.
Jeez,
so that was like a huge passion of mine, but I had to really choose what I was going to give my energy to because those kids deserve all my energy. I was like, I can't do both anymore. I was trying and I was failing. So that's something I really want to get back into once I have the funds too. Yeah. And just doing stuff that makes me happy, because if people pursue what makes them happy, they will be better people in the world. We have a world full of people that are doing things that they don't want to do. And it's making them depressed and it's making them just make bad decisions. So I feel like everybody needs to be happy.
That is true.
They need to do things that make them happy. And that is success for me. Obviously, I would love to be a household name, but I feel like if I continue to do things that make me happy, I will find success in my field. So, yeah.
Well, KELS, it has been a complete honor sitting down with you, girl. Oh, my goodness. I could personally say that I feel like we got even more out of what we were expecting when we came into this today. But I also want to go ahead and give you your moment to tell us, what can we expect from you moving forward? What shows, what tours, girl, tell us, please. Just tell us. Go ahead, tell us.
I've got a few festivals lined up, but really like just trying to release a bunch of music this year. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Okay. And last but not least, I know I just said that we were just going to... I can't get enough of you now. But is there any advice that you would give aspiring artists? I mean, you're just such an inspiration in itself. But like, is there something that you really feel is on your heart to tell aspiring artists or independent artists, anybody?
Do it yourself. Don't wait for other people to do anything for you. Just do it. Yeah, don't wait. Just take advantage of like your position and just run with it.
Enough said, y'all. Enough said. Well, once again, thank you so much. We cannot show enough gratitude for you choosing to be on our show today, Behind the Sessions. Be sure to follow KELS on her social media. And please tell us what your social media is so they can go ahead and follow you and keep up with you and everything you have going on.
The handle is just finding KELS _. So finding and then KELS _ or findingkels.com. And then on streaming, it's just capital KELS.
All right, y'all. Y'all better go find my girls. Thank you again for joining us for another session of Behind the Sessions. As always, I am Elena Williams. You guys can follow us at RecLiveATL, and we cannot wait to see you on our next session. So stay tuned for more information, and we'll see you next time.